Hey guys, Rebel95, recording live from a local county prison cell. I didn't have a chance to do a video Monday, so I'm going to have to make this a quick one today, because now my whole schedule is thrown off. And here we have a fight that I've actually wanted to do for a while, but it is oddly topical now. So the fight is going to be Turok from the Turok games / comic books, and Regina from the Dino Crisis games. The reason this is topical is because Turok 1 and 2 just got ported to the Switch recently, and Capcom just held a poll of which... wait, why am I not doing the thing? Wait, 1 second. There we go. Capcom just recently had a poll of which property that they wanted to... that fans wanted, more content of. And Dino Crisis actually won that poll. So, both of these characters have been in the public eye for a little bit. Research for this fight was very difficult, and I will explain that in just a second. But we will start with Turok. So, So, before we get into how Turok, the character, became, we must first talk about something called, what is it, the Lost Lands or the Savage Lands or something? And this kind of sets the world building stage. So at one point, the world was, so basically there was a being who, in an attempt to save his own universe, ended up destroying his universe, and his solution to this was to go to other universes and try to reignite his own by destroying another. So, in doing so, he inadvertently made himself the sort of magnet of random dimensional rifts from all the universe hopping that he'd been doing. And so every so often, a rift would open and bring something else into this kind of in-between space. So things like aliens, mutants, cyborgs, ghosts, dinosaurs, wizards, all of that would just randomly be dumped into this new space, dubbed the Lost Lands. I think it's called the Lost Lands. And for literally eons, because this guy was doing this for so much time, that this lost space kind of grew into its own territory. Some dinosaurs, mind you, that had been there for longer than others, started to evolve due to an uninterrupted evolutionary cycle. They dodged the extinction level events, right? And started to become humanoid. So now we had humanoid dinosaurs. Some aliens would capture species that they found that were less intelligent and implement cybernetics into them. So now we had cyber dinosaurs and cyber mutants, and again, literal demons and things like that. So all of these things started to intermingle into one space. And eventually, a Native American was teleported into this space. And that Native American was known as... Well, I can't actually pronounce his name, but it's not Turok. See, because Turok is actually more of a title than it is a name. Anyone from this Native American bloodline can be elected to become the new Turok dinosaur hunter. And don't let the name fool you, they do not just hunt dinosaurs, and I mean they because there have been males and females. They fight everything that might affront them, even other human beings who have found themselves in the Lost Lands and have become so, and have learned to survive and take over. But this was the beginning of the Turok legacy, which was also put into place by some big alien thing that, so consider that, right? That's sort of the backstory we're working with. That's the world we're working with. So if I get any details wrong about Turok, I don't think I can be blamed for that. So, Turok, we will refer to Turok as a character, even though I don't mean any specific Turok. I mean any individual who has become a Turok. Generally end up being weapons experts, expert hunters, expert stealth, individuals, and they do have some common traits. For one, they have this thing known as the light burden, which is passed down generation to generation. And if you have become a Turok, the light burden, it looks like just a regular leather bag, but it's actually a literal magic satchel, as in it uses magic and parts of the Big Bang to have infinite space for weaponry and ammo and things like that. In-game, it's weird. That's the in-game explanation for how ammo gets spawned miraculously when enemies die, but it's also how you store all of these incredibly huge weapons that you have. Weapons like tech bows with explosive arrows, poison arrows, pistols, miniguns, fusion cannons, nukes, and staffs that are able to destroy moments in time. The Chronoscepter, I believe it's called, which is the most powerful weapon in Turok 1. It destroys a moment in time in a given space so that the matter, any matter or anything within that space is completely erased. These are the things that, a Turok would have access to, as well as certain talismans that allow for things like walking on lava and seeing spirits and seeing things with cloaking devices and whatnot. Yeah, kind of crazy for just a run and shoot dinosaur game. But yeah, I mean, what else can I say? This is someone who has fought and killed countless of all of these enemies that I've shown. They fight and kill dinosaurs, like T-Rexes and stuff. They fight and kill dinosaurs that have been trained to be attack animals. They fight and kill cyber dinosaurs, mutant dinosaurs. They've fought beings that aren't dinosaurs, like literal mechs and giant metal spiders and literal demon lords and shit like that. It's really ridiculous how expansive and diverse this lore is. So Turok is just, to use a current phrase, Turok is just him, or her, I suppose. Going into Regina. Regina was a special agent, I believe, that was brought into, it's basically the plot of Jurassic Park. Don't get too hung up on it. It's basically a special agent that was brought onto a specific island where experiments were being made to recreate dinosaurs. It's kind of a survival horror game in the genre of Resident Evil, so it's a lot cooler than I'm making it sound. But, and in that time, she's actually done this several times, but in that time, Regina has had to navigate through entire islands and parts of businesses and stuff, parts of like military bases and stuff, under constant threat of dinosaur attack. Now, she generally just has, like a pistol and a stun gun and things like that on her at all times. But she has wielded weapons such as, like machine guns, grenade launchers. At one point she carried a fucking railgun by herself and shot it. Needle guns that work underwater, things like that. She actually ended up being elected to the lead of that team and whatnot. Look, it's a very simple character. There's not a whole lot of story going on involving the character per se. It's mainly just in the gameplay. So, going into this fight, who do I think wins? Well, I mean, I don't think there's too much of a case that can be made for Regina, unfortunately. A lot of her weapons are impressive, like the things like, that, and she has weapons similar to that of Turok, and, she has a lot of experience killing dinosaurs, of course. But, like, Turok is literally hundreds of years old. I mean, because he's now immune to the effects of time. Well, sorry, there was a Turok that was immune to the effects of time. But if we're giving any given Turok the treatment here, and it's not a specific one, because they make cameos and whatnot, and they're ageless, but if we're giving no particular Turok this treatment here, right, then they would still have just a tremendous amount of, like, they fought so many more different diverse types of terrifying enemies than Regina ever has, and including dinosaurs. So, not to mention, like, yeah, Regina has a railgun that shoots bolts of lightning. Turok has a fucking fusion cannon, and a scepter that erases time, and nukes and shit. Like, it's not really comparable. So not only is Regina outclassed on the experience front, but also just on the weapons output. I mean, and unfortunately, there's not really a better character I think Turok can face. Because the whole dinosaur hunter character doesn't really, get thrown into a lot of... I mean, you could argue, like, Nightwolf from Mortal Kombat and him have a lot in common, but I feel like that's just picking the first two Native American characters you'd find. And if you're going to do Nightwolf, you do Nightwolf Chief Thunder, even though I talk about how much putting two fighting game characters against each other as a default is kind of annoying. However, yeah, that's how I think about it. Turok probably wins this fight without an extreme amount of difficulty. Not taking anything away from Regina or from the games, the Dino Crisis games. It's just that this isn't exactly a fair fight. It's a little difficult to look at the scope of the Turok world building and say that any other mortal character without, like, superhuman abilities, wins this. So, yeah, I'm gonna give this, I mean, maybe like a Belmont or something, I don't know. I'm giving this to Turok. Anyway, I know this was a quick one, but yeah, it's kind of what we had to do. Hope I'll see you guys on time next week for Blunger 95. See ya.